Targaryen queens give this weapon to their husbandos. Ranni-chan gave this to me.
Okay, so the story is finally picking up. There's action, progress between you and Ranni, but I have to ask, why are you in love with her? I mean, if it's the arms, I won't kink shame, but honestly, she showed me some much needed kindness. She's mysterious, she's attractive, and just like all of you, I was a pathetically single dude before getting isekai'd. But it should be more than just looks and blue balls. Love comes from shared interests, shared experiences, mutual attraction, communicating with each other often. That is very surprising to hear, coming from you. Right! Boobs! Lots of boobs! Short dresses, thick thighs! Have you told Megumin any of that? Kazuma does have a point, though. Let's see. Shared interests. Ranni and I both want what's best for the lands between. I assisted her in her acts of fratricide and regicide, and we both like dolls, I guess. That's just creepy.
Looking back on it, I was always attracted to Asuna because of her slender body, mountains of soft, cushy pillows, ridiculously long hair, and a fierce, independent personality. And the way she could pierce anything with that sword of hers was just so hot. She's loyal, a good cook, a kind mother to our computer program fairy daughter, and she tolerates my harem of pathetically hopeful girls who've all fallen under my bland protagonist charms.
And there you almost said something sweet. I think you ought to focus more on extolling the virtues of the love of your life and the moments you've shared together. That is what really wins people over, too.
Of course, she couldn't get enough of me and my two swords. Remember, boys, it's not the size that counts, but the quantity and what you can do with them. Since our first battle together, she saw my speed, strength, and intelligence. Asuna knew she could never do any better than the beater, the Black Swordsman.
Treasure the people you love, because you don't know when it will all end. Well, that solves two problems. His annoying interruptions and that awful voice.
Tarnished. I appreciate thou allowing me to ride atop your shoulder, given my miniature form's lack of mobility.
Solving the puzzle that was sealing Ranni's fate was both simple and hard at the same time. I had to go and kill one of the greatest demigods in existence, General Radahn. No biggie, though. Defeating General Radahn broke his amazing gravitational hold over the very cosmos itself. In an incredible moment, the countless years passed by in the night sky, and an asteroid dropped out of the heavens. It crashed into Limgrave and exposed the pathway into the Eternal City. I delved into its glittering depths and probed the haunted halls and walkways to eventually find the great hidden treasure of Nokron, the Finger Slayer blade. I returned to Ranni and delivered to her the weapon that had been the apple of her eye, the center of her desires, right into those 4 amazing hands. She gave me an inverted statuette and bade me go to the Carrion Study Hall if there was more that I wished to uncover. For my part, after having fought one of her brothers and learning more at the Round Table Hold about the great royal family of the Erdtree dynasty under Queen Marika, I realized that there would be no peace, no clear way for me to be with my lady, and no way to complete any of my quests without tearing down every remnant of the great empire that held sway over the lands between. Burdened with that heavy knowledge, I made my way to the volcanic lands overseen by the aptly named Volcano Manor. There I became invited to join the noble but fallen household of Praetor Rykard by completing a series of dubious quests. I did so, and after slaughtering my way through Rykard's domain and stronghold, I was invited yet still to go deeper and meet the great lord himself. Oh boy, was that another great fight.
Very well. Serpent King as Ranni. Together we will devour the very corner.
With his defeat, I had killed Ranni's full-blooded siblings. Dark secrets of the family began coming to light. Cannibalism, secret alliances, conspiracies to overthrow gods, horses made into waifus. It was enough to make my skin crawl. Truly, the only way to have a happily ever after with Ranni was to murder my way through all of my prospective in-laws. If marriage is about choosing your family, why not glean the tree of all its diseased branches? Wow! None of this is where I expected this part of the story to be going at all. What are we even supposed to take away from any of this? That true romance is harsh and bloody. If you aren't pulling down an empire for the one you cherish, can you really call it love? One thing, though. If you were really determined to pull down the Erdtree dynasty, then you must have had dealings with Mikla the Kind and Mesmer. Oh, believe me, I'm getting there. Hi there everyone, Lars here. Yes, I'm still continuing the series even if viewership declines from video to video because, hey, I'm enjoying poking fun at some isekai heroes while also exploring the lands between from the perspective of a Portal Fantasy setup. And I can put all of this extra Elden Ring footage that I have, finally, to some good use. But to round off this particular video, I want to quickly address the mechanics of conspiracies in writing. Ranni's quest to overthrow her own two fingers and establish the Order of the Moon is all part of a grand conspiracy that you have to puzzle out as you play her questline. Writing a conspiracy is very much like writing a mystery. In a way, they are straightforward, but they can be incredibly tricky to pull off, especially when you have multiple moving parts. To keep things simple then, begin with the motivations behind each conspirator and the end result of their schemes, the stuff that you plan for your story to resolve with. You then contrast that with all the world building that you've done. From there, you can start building backwards. For instance, Ranni wants to free herself from her fate and establish her own order. But in this world, the greater will rules over all and uses its champions and even the other gods to prevent anything like that from happening. So, what must Ranni do? She needs to break the plans of the greater will, sever her connection to it, and find her own champions who can best the greater will at its own game. To that end, she must scheme alongside the Nox, steal destined death, and find a way to get the finger-slaying blade, and raise a champion who can challenge the greater will. Simple, right? Well, this is where things begin to get crazy, with her brother Radahn stopping the stars, thereby sealing her own fate. The Greater Will also wields specific champions who will challenge Ranni, and the Nox don't like being used in her machinations either. From there, things begin spiraling out of control for her. With each new character and faction added, the conspiracy grows in complexity, which is partly what gives Ranni's questline so much fantastic depth and flavor. It's one of the few questlines that truly immerses you in the fuller story of the Lands Between, but as such, it is pretty difficult to replicate because of all that complexity. As a writer, if you want to create your own interesting conspiracies, remember to start with the end goal in mind. Contrast that with your world building. What is it that these people want that goes against the order of the world and the people in it? And then build backwards from there. It won't all come together immediately, and a lot will have to be figured out in the editing phases of your writing, but it can be done. And with that being said, I'm currently playing through Shadow of the Erdtree. Oh boy, it's great to have a large continuation of the whole story, and it is insane. Holy crap, I got so much to work through. So, I've got more to do, but as we work towards the next installment of That Time I Married a Goddess, if you're looking for other zany adventures to fill your days with, please check out the books that I have published. Links for them are in the description below. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us on this incredible, sometimes romantic, sometimes crazy, sometimes bizarre adventure that we call writing. And until the next video, y'all, tschüss.